out of there. Hi, ladies, gents, and everyone in between that. The Epstein files are real again. Yay! Yippee! However, with a gripe, they're woke. Oh man, they're back again. I guess somehow the Epstein files returned. There was a truth dropped on Truth Social, which I can't believe he's managed to trick me into saying truth. Because that's what they're called on there. It's not like a tweet's on Twitter. A truth is on Truth Social. However, let's read this. It is a very interesting little truth. It's a very interesting little post. What's going on with my boys, and in some cases, gals? Excuse you? What did you just say to me? First, you're gonna hide the files, right? That was already a pretty low, but then you're gonna steal my YouTube intro? Are you kidding me, Donald? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. So don't try and, like, divorce child this shit like you're sad that your parents are arguing. Stop fighting! No, dog, just pretend you're Bob Marley, go one world, one love on us. You made the hate campaign. They're shocked people are being haters. Come on, lock in, stay in character. You got a job to do. We have the perfect administration. I bet you think so. The talk of the world. I wonder why. And selfish people are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein, over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? So they're real? Wait, take that, run it back. So the files are, they don't not exist. They do exist, but they're woke. So they aren't valid? What is that? This is just so awesome. It's entertaining. It's horrifying, but in an entertaining kind of way. You know what I'm saying? However, buckle your seatbelts because it only gets more interesting from here. That orange individual does not stop talking. The Biden administration, who conned the world with Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, what the hell is he talking about? The laptop from hell, and more? They created the Epstein files, just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me, and now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why are my friends not believing me? Why do my friends think I'm on the files? It's not like I said they're fake or something, or hit them behind their back. Why? At least they're not woke. The energy that comes from this tweet gives off the same thing that you get from, like, a villain in a superhero movie after he's been completely and utterly defeated, but doesn't want to get captured yet, so he's trying to give excuses for why. The superhero is actually a mean guy. He actually smells kind of bad. He doesn't shower on Thursdays. Like, buddy, you're a child predator. Like, come on. And if you'd let me get off topic for a moment, I actually want to clarify on that. I don't like to throw around the term child predator very loosely. However, I like to bring receipts because I'm a petty little bitch. Look at this little clip from a Howard Stern podcast from 2005.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right, I want to make sure that
you're like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women.
Huh? What? And I know people might be like, oh, but it's a beauty pageant. Beauty pageant happens for women of all ages and sizes. Above 18, hopefully. Right? Oh, man. Teen Beauty say Trump walked in on them changing. Don't worry, ladies. I've seen it all before. Yeah, I bet. But anyways, let's get back on topic. We have a Trump tweet, or truth, or thing. Words. You got words from Trump to read. Why didn't the radical leftists release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? Well, if I were to use my thinker for just a moment, probably because, like, every powerful person on the planet has taken a Stan Lee-ass cameo to that island. Like, I would not be shocked if the reason that it hasn't dropped is because people on both sides of politics have gone to the evil, no-good-doing ass Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated ass island, and so they don't want the files to come out because they're going to get in prison forever. So, like, yeah, of course. The only way we're ever going to see those files is if someone can finally figure out how to conscript Nicolas Cage to national treasure that bitch out of the White House himself, because, honestly, that's the only hope we have left. We're about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration's achieved in over 100 years, and you expect my ass to call this a truth? Are you kidding me, dude? Do you have the audacity? Really? Anyways, back to the post. We are saving our country and making America great again, which will continue to be our priority. The left is imploding, and the right isn't. The right's fine. They love this development, of course. Check your comment section. It's actually outstanding. We'll actually look at that later. Anyways, Kash Patel, Kash Deer in the Headlights Patel. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about Kash Patel for a second. Our big boy in question, our director of the FBI, Kash Perpetually Shell-Shocked Patel, dropped a tweet on Twitter. It says, Conspiracy theories just aren't true. Never have been. It's an honor to serve the President of the United States, real Donald Trump, and I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls me. These conspiracy theories being the existence of the Epstein files. But, let's go back to 2023 and, just watch this video real quick.
So, who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
Who's that? Who's the director of... Wait, let me look something up real quick. Holy fucking deer in the headlights, dude. Like, he actually looks like he got flashbanged, and then they took a picture of him. Dude, like, give him a second to recover or something. Now, in 2023, technically, he wasn't the director yet. But, since then... what, did your dog eat your homework? Like, where are the files? Like, they're in your hands now, right? Or I guess not, because they don't exist. It's all been a conspiracy theory this entire time. That's the conspiracy theory? That's what the FBI's been hiding, that the files don't exist? My headcanon, personally, is that they accidentally black inked their only copy of the files, and they're really embarrassed and don't want to admit it. And so they just told us the files don't exist, because they're like, well, I'm gonna be real, I don't even know what they are. I've lost them. And what I find really, really interesting is one of the most pivotal points in Donald's running for president was that he was going to, on day one, release the files. He said on day one he would declassify the Epstein files. And I went and tried to find videos of this because I hear people say it all the time. And I remember him saying it on the news, but I couldn't find any actual physical evidence of this. I tried looking online. I tried, navigating to certain years where posts could have happened to find where he talked about it. And I finally found one thing on Twitter, went to hit play on it, and it won't play. Now, what? It's honestly kind of embarrassing watching this cover-up put together with Elmer's glue and popsicle sticks just crumble in front of my eyes. It's like watching a boat with gigantic holes in the hull being piloted by Donald, and Donald's like, there are no holes, holes are woke, they were invented by Obama, the ship is still on track, we're going in the right direction, right towards this gigantic iceberg. That's great. That's outstanding, buddy. That's great news. Can I get dropped off? I don't like this ride. Like, does he think I won't just read the bottom of the screen? Like, Trump reveals what he'll declassify if he wins the White House. What do we think it's going to be, guys? Let's put it up in the air. Put 1 and 2 together. 3. Look at that. I already put more effort into that math equation than he did in this entire cover-up so far. Now, the latter half of the Donald post on Trump app, the post on Trump app is honestly like a meltdown, like a kid in a Walmart who didn't get the Lego set that he wanted. It's actually hard to read. Let me try and read some of this. So, Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals. Somebody give this guy an award. I think he just won Buzzword Yahtzee. Instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's why she's looking into as AG, and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way. Let's not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein. Somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention on that matter. Nobody cares about. Everybody cares about this, except for you, apparently. I think that's a lie. I think he does care about this. He cares about it heavily, because if it in the other direction, though, if it gets out, he will never see anything but the inside of a jail cell for the rest of his life. But that's just a theory. A Trump theory. Oh, God. It is actually crazy seeing all of Trump's D1 glazers in his comment section completely turn on him, too. I see a bunch of comment stuff like, this statement breaks my heart. Mr. President, I have 4 daughters and live in Texas, and I ain't reading all that. With all due respect, Mr. President, we voted for change, and a big part of the change was transparency and accountability. Yeah, he's good at that stuff. We support President Trump 100%. That still stands. But those kids need justice. Those kids need justice. We still support President Trump. Something's not adding up. Read the room, buddy. You promised us, sir. Putting your MAGA base down is not going to make this go away. Pam Bondi has lied to us time and time again. Who's advising you? Well, who's advising him? Whoever doesn't want this list getting out. Perhaps the man in the mirror. And honestly, from what I've seen, one of the most enraged human beings on this planet, or human beings, is Trump's ex-girlfriend, Elon Musk. There was a few posts I've seen online, but some of them are mostly along the lines of just, this is a very big deal. What the hell kind of system are we living in if thousands of kids are abused and the government has videos of the abusers and yet none of the abusers are even facing charges? What kind of travesty is this? Well, I mean, the corrupt kind. The kind that, to my memory, you actually explicitly paid around like $250 million to get into presidency in the first place. So, whoops. Whoopsie. I guess it's just how the cookie crumbles. And in a development just as shocking as finding a fork in a kitchen, that unedited raw footage of Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell. Remember that? I talked about it last video, how there was this footage of his jail cell, and it wasn't even his jail cell, and also there was a minute missing, but it was all raw and unedited, apparently. Well, that raw and unedited footage was not only edited, but also, at the bare minimum, medium rare. There is an article dropped by Wired talking about how the metadata shows that there was actually modifications in the video, and I like this part of the article more specifically. The raw file shows clear signs of having been processed using an Adobe product, most likely Premiere. You know, the editing software I'm using to edit this very video. Oh my god, I'm on desecrated ground right now. I'm behind enemy lines. This is horrifying. And then our final little development, a little cherry on top of this poop sundae, is apparently the FBI and DOJ came to the conclusion that within Epstein's files that definitely don't exist but also exist but don't exist, there is no blackmail list, which what this entails is essentially that Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's wife, is the first person on Earth to go to prison for human trafficking to no one. What? There's no file. There's no clients. No one could have bought the people. So I guess she was just trafficking them to the island to, you know, keep for later. A little backlog. A little something just keep on the back burner in case anyone ever wants to buy a human or something. It happens all the time. You never know when it'll pop up. So that's great. That's awesome. What a fun little video we made today. I'm sorry that it's quite depressing. I promise we'll get some non-political content out soon. But really, I think the main synopsis of this video and the Epstein investigation as a whole is never be quiet. Do not let yourself get silenced. We were loud, annoying, and irritating, and due to this, more and more holes in the armor of this dumbass investigation appear every single day. And honestly, seeing Donald run around like a chicken with part of his ear cut off is the most entertaining part of this entire thing. But for now, I'm gonna hit the road. Of course, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. I love having conversations with you guys, and you had pretty fun conversations on my first video about this, and hopefully this is my last video about it. I don't think that you can do any more after saying it's not real and then saying it's real but woke. How much worse can it get? I can't wait to eat my words later. Anyway, thank you for watching. My name's Evan, and as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, good night, and I'll see you in the next video when Trump eats the Epstein files on live television.